Mithilesh, can you hear me? Mithilesh? Mithilesh,
Yes, ma'am.
can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell other student to join the class within 2 minutes, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Any query regarding abstract class? Any query regarding any
Yes, ma'am. Your voice is coming very slowly, ma'am.
Now it is clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. So we are in an abstract class. Yeah, that in your previous class we have just learned about why we will use the abstract class, what are the process of abstraction and that abstraction using abstract class, and how we can declare an abstract class as well as how we can implement the abstract. Okay, so that portion is already over to you. If you have any query regarding this part, then you can tell me. Query regarding this part? Any query? Just take a revision of this, that we'll use the abstract class and of the abstract class. Abstract class means in that class you must have at least one abstract method. Abstract method means that method have only the declaration, not any definition. Means the abstract class divided only by its name. There will be no second bracket and no instruction statement inside the body of that method. Okay, that will be known as the abstract method. That means you are just defining the name of the method as well as just like the return type, then the name of the method, then the first bracket, then semicolon. That will be known as the abstract method. Here it is an example of it. That is pin status. It will be an abstract method. Look at this. After this method, there will be a second bracket, there will be a first bracket, that is the signature of this method, and then there will be a semicolon, so that there will be no starting of the second bracket, so that in that case you can write down the instruction of that method or whatever be the statement that you want to implement using that method. There will be no such cases. Then we can say that pin status is an abstract method. And if in your Java class, if you have at least one abstract method, then you can say the class as an abstract. That doesn't mean that abstract class will contain all the abstract methods. If you write down any abstract class and inside that class you can write down one abstract method and the remaining methods they are fully instructed method, that means the non-abstracted method, then it is also possible in Java. And if you provide all the methods that are defined as an abstract method, that is declared as an abstract method, then it will not be known as the abstract class, it will be known as the interface, because interface is the fully abstract class. This is the basic differences that you must know about the abstract class. Next, how you can declare the abstract class. Like this is the keyword in the class. You need to write down the class that is similar to your previous one, and then the name of the class. That means the class declaration should be preceded by this keyword, that is abstract. Okay. One example is already discussed in the class, that how you can use this. The example. Now look at this. If you provide within an abstract class only one abstract method or two abstract methods, the responsibility of the class which will extend the abstract class must implement that method. What is the meaning of it? Now here it is an example of the abstract class, that is bike. This class is defined as an abstract class. And within this class we are declaring one method, that is run, that is defined as an abstract method. Now, how you can use this method? Because this method don't have any instruction statement within it. So if you want to use this method, that means you need to write down the instruction inside this method. So it is the responsibility of the class, or you can say that is the child class, who will extend that the method bike must have the implementation of this run method. Okay, so that the child class has the responsibility to implement the abstract method form of its parent class, parent abstract class. Okay, so here void run is implemented, just like you are putting here one print statement that is running safely, and after that you are just creating object of this child class, and then you are just calling the method. What will be the output? Definitely the print statement that you have provided inside the run method, that will be shown in the output phase, output classes, output screen basically. Okay, so this is the example for the this portion. To this portion in your previous class it is already explained. So do you have any query? Any query?
No, ma'am.
Example, you can check it also. And abstract class. It using the abstract class. Go through this example. This note is all. Will share it in your try to see this abstract class, or in the lab class you can implement this example also. Okay, that is question is how we can define several rate of interest for several bank using the abstract class. And one example you have already done in your lab class, abstract method, that is draw, you can or calculate you or area. I think I have provided it this name as an area. Okay, so that using the concept of abstract class, you can define or you can calculate the area of the rectangle as well as the area of the circle. This task is given to you to implement, and in lab plus 1 or 2 have already implemented it, I think. Okay, now we can this part that abstract class can have look at this part for you. This part, the abstract class can have the constructor, the data member, and the method. That's the point that I am mentioning just earlier to this point, that abstract class doesn't mean it will contain all the abstract method. Besides the abstract method, there may be the concrete method, and an abstract class can be instantiated. This is the basic difference from the abstract class as well as for the interface. Whenever we will study about interface, you will look that for interface, all the method that you are defined in that class will be abstract. But in case of abstract class, there is a flexibility that the abstract class can have the constructor, other data members as well as other concrete method, or you can say that is the non-abstract method. Okay, so go for one example. Here it is the example. Look at this. Here we are defining one class that is named as a bike. Since it is an abstract class, because we are defining one abstract method inside this class, that is the void run. That's why the bike class is defined here as an abstract class. Okay, and after the declaration of this class, here is the definition. In this definition or inside this class, we are declaring one constructor, that is bike. That constructor doesn't have any parameter right now. Okay, that is without any parameter, we are defining one constructor, and within that constructor, we are defining one statement, that is bike is created. Why we have written here one statement? Just because of that, if we create one object of this class, then this constructor will be automatically called, and for that time this statement will be printed. That's why this statement is written here. Otherwise, there is no necessity of this statement here. Okay, so inside the abstract class bike, we are defining one constructor, and within that constructor, we are just showing one statement, print statement, that is bike is created. Okay, after that, we are we are declaring one abstract method, that is run. Okay, this since it is an abstract method, that's why there is no body of it. After that, we are declaring one concrete method, or you can say that is the non-abstract method. Look at this. For this method name, that is change gear, there is no abstract keyword preceded in front of this method. Okay, we are writing here just void the return type of this method, then the name of the method is change gear, and within this method we are just putting down one statement, one SOP, that is gear changed. Clear? So this is the scenario of your abstract class. So we are defining one abstract class here. Within that class, we are defining one constructor, one abstract method, and one non-abstract method. Okay. After that, using the class Honda, we are extending the abstract class bike. Because you all know that for fully implementation of the abstract class, it needs to be extended by some other class, so that the abstract method can be implemented within that class. And the main necessity for implementing the abstract method inside this class is that in the child class you can use the abstract method in your own way. Okay, that's why you are providing here, that is the abstract method. No specific instruction is included inside this method right now. So that inside the Honda class you can just implement this void run method, and you are putting here one print statement, that is running safely. Clear? And after another class, this class is over here, so that you can say that now in the Honda class you have one method, that is the run method, and another non-abstract method, that is change gear method, because Honda is extending the bike class. So now Honda has two methods, that is the run method and change gear method. And this run method is implemented inside the Honda class. After that, what is happening here? You are defining another class, that is the main class here. It includes the public static void main statement. And inside the main method, we are creating one object of the Honda class. That means the child class. And using the object of the child class, you are just calling these two methods. Now, anyone from this class right now who are present in this class can tell me that what will be the output of this program? What will be the output of this program, or what are the statement that will be shown in your output screen if you just run this or execute this program? Can any one of you tell me? If you have any doubt regarding this coding section, then you can tell me. And if you are able to understand this program clearly, then it will be easier to you to tell me the output of this program. Anyone?
Run safely and gear changed.
Running safely and gear change. Only these two statements will be executed.
First bike is created and then these two.
Yes, that will be the answer. This constructor will also be executed whenever you are creating the object of the Honda class and you are assigning that object in the reference of the this bike class. Okay, so output will be like that. Bike is created, running safely, and then the gear change. Okay, so this will be the all that includes in your abstract class. Next, we will move for the. Let me share the content of the interface first.
Ma'am, it is necessary that abstract class must contain abstract method.
Sorry, abstract class.
Must contain abstract method.
Yes, at least one abstract method must be there. For abstract class, at least one abstract method must be there. Okay, at least one. Otherwise, it will not be an abstract class, no? It will be a fully
Ma'am, but
different class.
it is possible, ma'am.
What is possible? Without defining any abstract method, you will define the abstract class.
Yes, ma'am.
How?
Ma'am, I will send you the code.
Okay, you can send me the code, but it is not possible in Java that you are defining a class as an abstract, and using that class you are without defining any abstract method. Then what is the necessity? First of all, tell me that why it will be required to define a class as an abstract. If you are not using any abstract method, then what is the necessity of defining a class as an abstract? It is a fully implemented class.
And without creating abstract method, code also run, ma'am, without any error.
There may be some other concept, but it is not required for all the abstract class. But tell me the logic first, that why you will create any abstract class. If you are not defining any abstract method, then why you will create the abstract class? First of all, tell me why it is required for the what is the requirement for the abstract class? Sometimes there may be a situation, I have already provided you the example, that in the superclass, if you are defining one method, that method needs to be implemented by its child class by its own way. There is no specific implementation for that method of the superclass. So at that time, you can define that method as an abstract method so that its child class can implement that method in its own way. Okay, that's why this is the starting point. why we'll use the abstract method. Otherwise, if the superclass has some specific implementation of that method, then we don't need to define that method as an abstract method. And if you don't have any abstract method of any class, then why you will declare the method? That will be an extra complexity for that program, that it is an abstract class. Because whenever you are defining a class as an abstract class, that means that class must follow some specific rules. Okay, and if you have any code that is defined as an abstract class and without creating any method as an abstract method, send me the code. I will provide you the logic behind it, that why it is like that. Okay, any other query? Any other query from other students? Any other query? Kuntol Kundu? Shayantan Das? Shayantan Das? Can you hear me? Shayantan Das, can you hear me?
And code is there in chat box.
Yeah, I am showing. I am seeing that. Any query regarding from other student? Now look at this. You are defining the abstract class, but whenever you are just creating the method that is M1 and M2, it is for Pratik. You are providing the implementation statement of that method. So why it will be treated as an abstract method? For that abstract of two method M1 and M2, if you write down here, just try to change this code in this way that this void M1 first bracket, after then there will be a semicolon. If you write this statement, then only it will be an abstract method. Otherwise, these two methods, you are preceded this class as an abstract, because abstract class has the flexibility that it can have the non-abstract method as well as the abstract method. And what is happening here, you are doing that, you are defining a class A, and inside that class you are just defining two methods, that is M1 and M2. And these two methods have the fully implementation statement or fully implemented here. That means these two methods are not abstract. Just try to write down any one of these methods, or try to define any one of these methods as an abstract, and then try to run this code. Okay.
मैम तो वही बोल रहा है ना, विदाउट abstract मेथड का भी तो मतलब बन सकता है abstract class.
तो एब्स्ट्रैक्ट क्लास जो तुम बना है, एब्स्ट्रैक्ट क्लास का रूल्स क्या है? एब्स्ट्रैक्ट क्लास का रूल्स, इसमें एब्स्ट्रैक्ट मेथड भी रह सकता है एंड नॉन एब्स्ट्रैक्ट मेथड भी रह सकता है. So what you have done here, that is within this abstract class, you have chosen one possibility, that is you are just putting here two non-abstract method. This is possible, but this is not the necessity. This is not the right way for defining the abstract class. Abstract class has this flexibility that it can have the non-abstract method as well as the abstract method. But it is the main logic behind that abstract class, that whenever you are defining that it is what is the meaning of abstraction? Meaning of abstraction means you are providing the name of the task, but not you are providing that how it will implement the task. Okay, so in this case, what you have done, that you are defining the class that is abstract, and you are providing fully implemented method. That means you are not providing any abstraction here. But this is for the basic rules, that is the abstract class can have the abstract method as well as the non-abstract method. It is implemented, it is executing. If you want to check this part, that it will be implemented or not, then at least one method you should change it as an abstract method. Got my point? Otherwise, there is
Yeah.
no necessity of explicitly mentioning this class as an abstract class. Okay, that's why it is written in the textbook or wherever you are getting from them for the notes for this abstraction or abstract class. At least you will provide, you need to provide one abstract method inside the abstract class. But the abstract class has this flexibility that it can have the fully implemented method as well as the abstract method. And you are choosing here the first statement, that is the fully implemented method. That's why this code is here. Got my point?
Okay, ma'am.
I think you are not satisfied. If you have any doubt till now, then you can tell me.
No, ma'am, no.
Okay, fine. So next we will move for the interface. Share the content. And what about the other student? Any query till now?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Just a minute. I'll share you the content for the interface. Is it visible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now we will go for the second way for achieving abstraction. Here, Potik, you can see that if you want to write down any fully implemented method inside this interface, that means the fully abstract class, you will get an error. Okay. First of all, try to understand that what is an interface. Interface is the second way for achieving abstraction in Java programming language. Here, you have to put down the 100% abstraction. That means there is no chance that the abstraction may be within that scenario, that is from 1% to 100%. Here is a fully final way that you need to achieve or you need to follow 100% of the abstraction. That means all the things that you will provide inside the interface, that will be abstract. That means you will just provide the name of the task. Or you can say in simply way that what you want to do, that will be explained. But how you will be able to do that, that portion will be hidden. This is the main USP of using Java. That is most of the banking system using this particular scenario. That there are several level of hierarchy in a system, so that you can provide certain percentage of the data of the whole database that will be revealed to a certain percentage of the employee. That means I want to say you that there are several level of abstraction that can be provided using the Java programming language. Okay, and for that part, interface is a vital part. Whenever you will be used to fully hidden part from the user of any system, then you can use the interface. That means you will just think about the part that when I am just providing one example, that whenever you want to fill up any form for any competitive exam, then what you will do? You will just provide the information that is just appear in your output screen. Okay, that is the name of the student or name of the applier, then the academic qualification, then the email ID or whatever be the requirement. And how this data will be implemented, or how this data will be processed, or how this data will be stored in the database, that portion is not related to your part or user part. That can be an example for the abstraction. That means you are just providing that what you need to do. But how you will do this, that portion is revealed to, that portion is hidden from you. Okay, that is the example for abstraction. And whenever you want to provide the fully abstraction, that means you want to achieve 100% of abstraction, then abstract class cannot help you, because abstract class can have concrete method also. So for that time, you must go for the interface. Interface is a class that is fully abstract. Fully abstract means all the methods that you will put in your interface will be abstract method. There is no provision, no flexibility to provide the concrete method inside any interface. Okay, and as well as you can say that interface will follow the user relationship. How it can follow the user relationship, that I will show you later. Okay, and here is some specification that if you use the version of Java 8, then we can have the default and static method in an interface. Okay, but from Java 9, we can have also pivot method. That is the extension part of the interface that will be discussed. Now, first we will study that what is the part for main reason for interface, that why we will use this. The first question is already described to you, that is it is used to achieve the abstraction. Okay, now the next most important part that will follow in Java programming language, that whenever we will study, we have studied already, not we have already studied the inheritance concept. That means reusing the code of another class inside your code. That portion, for that portion, there is a specific features, that is the multiple inheritance. That means one child class or one class want to reuse the code from two parent class. If this is the case, then we know that is the multiple inheritance. But this multiple inheritance directly cannot be implemented in Java because of some reason. What are the reason? That is already explained to you. If you have any doubt, then you can also ping me so that I will repeat it again. But this is a vital part in Java. Why multiple inheritance cannot be possible in Java directly? Okay, but that disadvantages, you can say it as a disadvantages of Java, can be removed whenever you will use the interface. Okay, and the next part that is mostly related to the software engineering part, that is it can be used to achieve loose coupling. I think software engineering in your in this semester now, you
Yes,
are
ma'am.
studying software. So definitely you can relate this part, that what is the meaning of loosely coupling. Coupling means it is the degree of interaction between several modules. Okay, this is the degree of interaction between several modules. As you know about the software engineering, so I think you have already familiar with the modular approach to develop a software. Okay, so modular approach means you are subdividing the whole functionality into several modules. And for that several module, that is nothing but the several piece of code. And if there is an interaction between separate module, that means any two module, then that degree is known as the coupling. And there is one related terms regarding this coupling, that is known as the cohesion. Cohesion means that is the degree of connectivity inside a module. Or you can say degree of interaction, not only connectivity, degree of interaction inside a module, that is the cohesion. Can anyone of you tell me that what is required for a good software? That is, coupling should be high or low? If you want to follow the modular approach to build up a software, then what is the requirement? That there will be low coupling, high cohesion, or the reverse of it? Can anyone tell me? Can anyone of you tell me that what will be the desired requirement? What will be the... Okay. Anyone tell me that coupling? Okay, so tell me coupling should be high or low? Coupling means degree of interaction between several two modules. Definitely it should be low. So that if you want to do parallel approach or parallel coding section implementation of several modules, and if there is lot of interaction between these two modules, that means you need to wait for the another module output. That's why it is a P requirement. Not only P requirement, it is a good habit, you can say, that if you want to implement that software or develop that software in a less amount of time, and you are following the modular approach in software engineering case, then there must be the low coupling and high cohesion. Okay, so here that can also be achieved if you can follow the interface. Okay, because whenever you are using the interface, inside that interface, all the methods you are defining as an abstract method. So that whenever you are extending that interface inside any child class, so that it can be easily implemented in its own way. That means there is no need for the interaction between two modules. Okay, that's why it is written here. It can be used to achieve loose coupling, or you can say that is the low coupling. Low coupling means the interaction between these two modules will be less now, so that you can parallelly implement these two modules. Okay, so these three are the main point for using the interface. Next, we will move on to the next part. That is the most important thing, that how we can declare the interface. Look at this. Whenever you want to define any interface that is a fully abstract class, you need to write down this keyword, that is interface, and then name of the interface. So in case of abstract class, you need to write down abstract keyword, then class, then the name of the class. Yeah, what you have to do? You have to write down only one keyword, that is interface, then the name of the interface. After that, within the second bracket, you need to write down the data member of that interface. If for the first time or for the beginners of the Java programming language, just think this is the abstract method. Later we will see that what is the meaning of this constant field, or if you say the by default other data members. First of all, student, please mute yourself. Who is this? Potik, please mute yourself. Potik Mondol. Potik Mondol. Can you hear me? Potik Mondol, can you hear me? Hello? Mithilesh, call Potik and tell him to mute himself, okay? Mithilesh?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so we are hot in part. What the syntax for defining the interface. So you need to write down the keyword interface, then the name of the interface. Okay. And after that, there will be the second bracket, and inside this second bracket, you need to write down the data members of that interface. So let's move for the interface part. Okay, this is the rule for interface. We'll move it to this later. Go for one example first. Okay, look at this part. Here we are written down one interface, that is the name of the interface is printable. Okay, after that within the second bracket you are written here one, that is the print method, that is the return type of the method is void. And look at this, you don't need to explicitly mention this method as an abstract method. Since it is known for Java programming language, the interface means it is the fully abstract class. So whatever be the method that you have just written inside this method will be the abstract method. That's why look at this. After the declaration of this method, here there is a semicolon. The meaning of this, that means this method doesn't have any body. So that this method is an abstract method. So this is the syntax for declaring any interface. First of all, you need to write down the keyword interface and then the name of the interface, and within the second bracket you just write down whatever the method that you want to put down inside the interface. First of all, try to use this method only. Then we will follow that whether there will be a final variable or not, or other data members or not. Okay, so this is the first scenario. Now the next rule that you must follow, that whenever you are using the interface means you need to write down the keyword that is implements. Okay, you need to keep in your mind that the keyword that is the implements. But if it is the abstract class, you can write down here that is extend. So this is a rule for interface, that whenever you are just defining or declaring any interface and we want to use that interface inside any class, or if you want to implement the functionality of that method that are declaring inside the interface, then you need to write down the implements keyword. So here class A6, it implements this printable interface. Okay, this is similar like your previous one, that is abstract class, but instead of extend keyword, you are writing here the implements, because this is the rule for the interface in Java. Okay, you need to implement the interface, not just only extending. This is the main reason behind it, the same. That is because of all the methods declared inside the interface are the abstract method. The main reason is same. Okay, now what is doing here? This part is, you are familiar with that you need to implement the print method inside this class who are extending the interface, or here technically you need to say that who are implementing the interface. Here we are written here void print, and then inside there we are just writing down one statement, that is hello. Now look at this keyword, this public. This is the rule for interface, that whenever you are implementing the method, abstract method that are defined inside the interface, you need to mention this method as a public. This is the syntax, that you need to mention this method as a public. Okay, so these two part you need to keep in your mind, that is first one is the implements keyword and the second one is the public keyword. Okay, after that the remaining portion is same, that is within the main method you are creating the object of the A6 class and you just call the print method. So what will be your output? Definitely hello. Clear? So this is one example for interface. Okay, we are just end of the time. So any query till now, that what is the meaning of interface, how we can declare the interface, and why we'll use the interface, what is the main necessity of your interface? This key portion is discussed in this class. In the next day class, we will complete this interface portion. So any query till now? Any query till now? Answer me at least. Any query till now? Shomita?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am, no query.
Fine. You can leave this class.